Good morning, everybody. This is Jim Benton from Chorus. Happy Tuesday, March 24th. And thanks for joining me. I know I put my post out there a bit last minute, but I wanted to organically get a good group together. I'm kicking off, I just kicked off my second week here at Chorus. I kicked off last Monday completely virtually. And it's an unreal time. And for me personally, I just want to reach out and say thanks so much to everybody on LinkedIn. The thank yous and the posts have been incredible. And I think the stars have aligned. I think that I'm at a company at the right time and at a moment that is just incredibly special given the uncertain times. So let me just give a quick flashback before we jump into the key insights that I want to share today. You know, March 6th of 2009, the stock market hit 6,469. 3 days later, I co-founded with my good friend Al Lieb, ClearSlide, one of the first sales tech companies in the space. And I remember vividly at that time how insane that felt. You know, we were, the market is falling, and here we're starting a new company sitting in our kitchens at the time. You know, today it's interesting. I look back at that, and I think what I enjoyed so much, and as you know, ClearSlide went on to power several thousand large enterprises, is that it kept us really focused on the problems we were solving. How lucky we were that we got to go help companies grow revenue at a time when it was so important to them. You know, careers were at stake. And so I look at today being at Chorus and how fortunate I feel I am. And for many of you who are joining today, and it's amazing just looking at the count increasing here, many of us are in sales. Many of us are helping companies to grow revenue, to solve real problems out in the market. And I think this is our moment and this is our time. And so for all of us that are balancing between health and safety, I'm isolated, I'm with my family, I'm at home. I did not expect this in my first week of my job, as well as just keeping the global commerce of this world going. I just commend everybody. This is a very uncertain time, but also very interesting and a moment for all of us to shine. Secondly, I have had a history of running huddles at 8:35 a.m. I did this every day at ClearSlide in my early years. Will Batson and Amit Melwani, quick shout out to you who have joined me over the years on these. And the focus is always about talking about the current events, what was interesting, what the data is showing, what we're hearing. And so today I want to open this up. This is my way of connecting to the world since I am absolutely stir crazy at home right now, and connecting with all of you. And I'd love to make this interactive to say, let's share this huddle time together. So with that, let me jump in, and let me just get my Zoom here. Let me jump in and talk through the data that we're seeing. All righty. So kicking off in the daily briefing, I want to start by sharing data that we're seeing across aggregated, anonymized data across our hundreds of customers, looking at the productivity and the state of productivity for revenue teams as we are kind of right in the COVID-19 period. Now, this data goes through March 16th. The first thing I'll share, when you look at the data, I mean, this is fascinating that we can look at this across so many different segments, is that, kudos to the sellers and to the buyers of the world that people are continuing to meet as people have moved at home and they're sitting, doing pitches from, the roommates sitting next to them and kids behind them. You can notice that, the week of March 16th, the data maintained. It was actually down just 10%. So if you look at over the last, 8 or 9 weeks since January 20th, very impressed that people have maintained their productivity, that we could literally uproot entire sales organizations across the country, across multiple countries, and see a very limited decrease, almost no decrease in productivity across the teams. It's phenomenal. Kudos and thank you to Zoom and the other players out there for building remarkable technology that lets us do what we all love doing. Secondly, I'm just looking at comments that are coming in. Secondly, let me drill down and look at this data by industry. I think that's where there's a bit more insights that are telling here. So first off, you'll notice that overall companies were down by 10%. What you also see is that the companies that are booking meetings that are helping to bring people together virtually and enabling work to continue in different locations, saw a massive uptick in the amount of meetings that they were having. So at home, uncertain times, market is dropping. It's, we're all trying to stay safe and healthy, and our productivity went up. Absolutely phenomenal, solving real problems for companies that are in needs of bringing people together. Infrastructure companies seeing an increase in meetings and needs and problems to be solved, which is fantastic. And then security companies. And I think we've all read about just the demands right now. We have so many people working from home. I think 40% of all endpoints are unsecured. 50% of all data breaches happen from remote employees. So significant work is needing to be done right now. And for all of us that are selling security, this is our time to shine, to make sure we're keeping data and the greatest companies out there secure. Also recognize that, for those sellers and those companies in the HR, tech, and recruiting space, this has been a very challenging time. And we've seen a decrease both in HR, tech, and recruiting, as well as travel and hospitality. And we're all watching the news. We understand just the impacts on how people are thinking about hiring and how they're thinking about travel. And so, I think when I look at this data across the board, to me, it's several things that I wanted to bring out to the market today. For those in the green, this is a time where leaders really have an opportunity to solve bigger problems for bigger companies, for more companies. And it's a time to rally teams to truly bring their best to work every day. And for those that are seeing just really strong disruptions in their business, and boy, we all hope this is just a short-term moment in time. But until we have clarity of that, this is the time for great leadership as well. And I know that you're doing that. To be innovative, to figure out what we could be doing, how we can be repurposing our folks, how we can reinvent the problems that we go solve. And so excited to share this with you and to open this up to the world. We'll be bringing additional insights each and every day. We've got a remarkable research team here at Chorus across many offices across the world, and looking forward to bringing deeper insights on this. I also wanted just to share that as a team, as I mentioned, I joined last Monday, and by Thursday, I could tell that the world had changed, that the classic drip emails that you may have written in your outreach and sales off segments of 3 weeks ago are no longer relevant. We need to rewrite them. We need to write a more authentic. We need to be real. We need to connect today. And so on Thursday, we huddled our team, and I said, look, the world has changed, and this is our moment. We need to help company leaders to be able to hear and understand what is happening in the field. And we've spent tens of millions of dollars investing in building the most remarkable piece of sales technology out there. How do we get this out to more people? How do we give sales leaders that have maybe never done remote before, that are leading 1,000-person, revenue organizations, how do we give them confidence that their teams are still shining, just as the data we just showed you, that they maybe are thriving working from a home office? And how do we give you confidence that they're continuing to bring their best work and representing your company, whether you are 10 people or 10,000 people, that they're truly bringing the best of 10,000 to every 30-minute live conversation? And so we want to help by providing that confidence and clarity. And secondly, how do we make sure that the voice of the market that is changing literally by the minute, that data gets old so fast, how do we bring real-time voice of the customer, voice of the market back not only to the rep, but to the entire company, to all 10,000 employees that need to know what's really happening? Are people in spending freezes? Are they hiring freezes? Are they doubling down? What is happening? And that can't wait for weekly or bi-weekly pipeline meetings. It must be real time. It must be synthesized across many data points. And so with that, we're in a unique position here at Chorus. And I think this is why I said the stars just aligned. We have this technology that allows us to natively integrate with Zoom. Zoom's one of our key partners. We're the only native integration on the market, which allows us to do the offering that I'll share in just a second. But through high compliance, we can actually natively integrate into Zoom, record calls, and share that data back to a team, all through the Chorus native integration. And so the offer we're putting out there today is we want to help all leaders, all companies, especially larger kind of enterprises who have to pull together so many different people. We'll be enabling a limited version of our native conversation intelligence for Zoom for up to 60 days. So reach out to our team. You can go to Chorus.ai/apply and reach out to our team, and we will work quickly to get you set up to make sure that we can help you get these insights, to make sure that we can help you deeply understand the calls, understand the experience your team is creating in these remote environments, and provide the coaching from a remote environment and bring that voice of the customer back to your team. So reach out to our team. We will do whatever we can to get you set up quickly. We have a few questions for you. We need to make sure you have the right access points to your Zoom admin, Salesforce, and other tools. And so we'll work with you on that. But we appreciate it. We want to help people, as we know that this is an uncertain time and careers are at stake. I also wanted to kind of hit on a quick poll, and that is, I'm sharing the data with you of what we're seeing. I'm curious what all of you are seeing, and there's a tremendous group of people that have joined this webinar with a very short notice. But let me quickly activate a quick poll. I want to understand how your team's productivity has been over the last week. So you should see a poll right now, and just take a second and share your insights. Awesome. I will share this in just a second. So the questions are, is your productivity up significantly? Is it up slightly, which you wouldn't expect in these times? Is it down slightly? Maybe. Is it significantly down? You'd probably expect that. And is it catastrophically down? Wouldn't surprise me if people said that. Oddly enough, watching the data come in, give it just a few more seconds here. The majority of folks, 50%, have said that it's down slightly. Nobody said that it's down significantly, and nobody said it was down catastrophically. 33% said actually productivity for the past week was up. Isn't that just remarkable? Stunning, stunning, stunning. And 18% of the participants here have said that it was up significantly. Wow. I mean, I've been in this industry for over 10 years doing sales tech. This is stunning that our teams are more productive in these times. This is a kudos to all of us on this call. We are doing something right here. I'm going to end this poll. And just last, I want to try something. We'll never know how this will work out. But I am curious here on some questions. And you can use the questions. You can raise your hand. I'll just take another few minutes of this. But what adjustments have you been making to your regular operating mechanisms? What are you doing to run your team right now? I would love to learn. I'm trying to run and work with my collective group at Chorus, some of the most remarkable people I've worked with. But how do we make it fun? How do we keep the energy up? How do we continue to solve problems? If you want to jump on the questions here, let me jump into a different tab here, 1 second. If you want to post a question or a comment, just go into the Q&A side and you can post something about what you're doing and I'll share it with the group. You can also raise your hand and I can always put you right in here. And one last shout out just while we're live. I see that Alex Odo is on this webinar. Alex and I worked back in a summer job, back when we were 21, teaching tennis up in the Tahoe. Alex, great to have you here. You're one of the great sales professionals out there as I followed your career. So thrilled to be able to share these insights with you. All right, with that, I'm going to kick off again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about specifically what we're seeing on how many times COVID-19 cases are mentioned within sales meetings, specifically looking at the trends, looking at the analysis of these calls. I'm going to have Brian Remington join me. He is the head of global inside sales at Schedule. And so Brian, thrilled to have you join us tomorrow. We'll go deep on the insights. Our team is working day and night to pull these insights to the community. We'll make it interactive. We'll have some new questions. But I'll leave it there. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Stay safe today. And I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8:35 a.m. Thanks so much.